Today we're going to talk about a topic that seems simple but generates enormous curiosity. Does okra really help with weight loss? Or is that just another internet myth? Many people have heard someone say that okra water dries up the belly, or that okra helps you lose weight fast. But is there any truth behind all this? Can this common, accessible food, so present in the kitchens of so many Brazilians, really make a difference when it comes to losing weight? The idea that a food can aid in the weight loss process always attracts attention, even more so when that food is natural, inexpensive, and easy to find in any market or fair. And that's exactly why okra has entered this conversation with such force. But here on the channel, your health, as you already know, no half-truths, no miraculous promises. We talk about real life, science, and habits that truly work. Today I want to show you, clearly and without beating around the bush, why did okra earn the title of friend of weight loss? What truly makes sense within the story? What is myth? What is truth? And how can you use this food in your daily life in a smart, delicious, and efficient way? And before you think this is just for people trying to lose weight, hold on. This video is also for you if you want to improve digestion, reduce bloating, control blood sugar, feel fuller, and give your metabolism a boost. Because when we understand how food acts within the body, everything becomes easier. Eating stops being just eating and becomes a conscious, strategic choice, full of benefits. So get comfortable, take a deep breath, and come with me, because believe me, you'll never look at okra the same way again after this video. Today we're going to separate fact from fiction and show you how this seemingly simple vegetable can have a powerful impact on your health and weight. Let's go. What's really behind okra's fame for weight loss? Okra has gained a huge reputation when it comes to weight loss, but this fame didn't appear out of nowhere. It has some very interesting roots, both in popular culture and modern science. Let's decipher this point by point so you can truly understand what makes sense and what has been exaggerated along the way. The first thing that put okra on the list of foods that aid weight loss is that mucilage, that sticky texture that many people love and many people resist. This mucilage isn't just a curious detail. It's a type of soluble fiber that helps the body absorb nutrients more slowly, reduces blood sugar spikes after meals, and increases the feeling of fullness. In other words, it makes you feel satisfied for longer and prevents that sudden hunger that often leads to consuming extra calories. And that, in itself, already has an impact on weight loss. Another important factor is that okra is a food very light. It's naturally low in calories, virtually fat-free, and has an excellent amount of fiber. So you eat, feel full, and aren't consuming something that weighs down your daily intake. For many people trying to lose weight, foods like this are key to sticking to their diet throughout the day, maintaining discipline, and avoiding overeating. But it doesn't stop there. There's also a cultural aspect that has reinforced this reputation. For decades, older people have talked about okra water as a kind of natural solution for low energy, bloating, and even regulating the intestines. When people notice that they start to feel less bloated, lighter, and with their intestines functioning better, this naturally conveys the idea of weight loss, even if it's not fat being eliminated. It's that classic scenario. The body deflates, the person feels a difference in their clothes and immediately associates it with weight. And of course, the internet made the fame even bigger. When some people started reporting that okra water dries up the belly, the idea spread absurdly, often without any scientific explanation behind it. It turns out that the reduction of inflammation in the intestine and the improvement in intestinal transit really do reduce abdominal bloating, which gives the visual and even physical impression that the belly is flatter. This leads many people to believe they have lost weight, when in reality the body is just functioning better. But here on this channel, we like to combine everything: popular knowledge that makes sense, science that proves what works, and common sense to separate myth from reality. And when we put it all together, what really supports the reputation of okra for weight loss is: it improves digestion, balances the gut, increases satiety, reduces blood sugar spikes, and is extremely light. This doesn't make okra a miracle food, but it positions it as a very useful component of a healthy lifestyle. And ultimately, weight loss is the result of several small choices that add up over time. So yes, there is a real reason for all this buzz. It's not just a fad, it's not just superstition. Okra has unique and very powerful characteristics that indirectly and gradually help the weight loss process. It's not magic, it's science applied to everyday life. And for those seeking real results, this is much more valuable than any miraculous promise. The impact of okra on satiety and blood glucose control. When we talk about weight loss, two words carry immense weight. Satiety and blood sugar, these are the nutrients that control that feeling of hunger between meals, that urge to snack all day long, and the famous appetite stimulant that ruins any diet. Okra enters the story as one of the most interesting and complete foods when it comes to keeping the body more stable, more satisfied, and less prone to excesses. Let's start with satiety. Okra is practically a natural champion in this thanks to its soluble fibers, especially the mucilage. When you eat okra, these fibers absorb water and form a thick gel in the stomach. This gel increases the volume of food in the stomach and makes the brain understand that you're full for longer. It's not that kind of false satiety that lasts half an hour. It's a consistent satiety that truly keeps hunger at bay throughout the day. This longer-lasting feeling of "I'm full" has a direct effect on the total calories you consume. Because when you're satisfied, you eat less at lunch, you don't raid the refrigerator in the afternoon, and you don't have that heavy snack at night. This has nothing to do with forcing yourself to eat less, but rather with the body regulating itself naturally. For those who are on a dietary re-education program, this detail makes all the difference. Now, let's talk about blood glucose control, which is another crucial point. When you eat carbohydrates, they're transformed into glucose and end up in the bloodstream. If this process happens too quickly, blood sugar rises rapidly. And when it rises rapidly, the pancreas releases a lot of insulin to lower that sugar. The problem is that this process can be followed by a sudden drop afterward, leaving you tired, irritable, and hungry again. In other words, a vicious cycle that hinders anyone trying to lose weight. That's where okra shines. The soluble fiber forms a natural barrier in the intestine that causes carbohydrate absorption to happen slowly and gradually. This means that sugar enters the bloodstream slowly, without spikes, without stressing the body, and without that crazy hunger that appears when blood sugar plummets. The body becomes more stable, the mind becomes more stable, and the appetite much more controlled. Another thing that many people don't mention, but which is part of this process, is that this slower absorption of glucose even helps those who don't have diabetes. Because maintaining stable blood glucose levels is important for all of us. This prevents food cravings, avoids mood swings related to sugar, and helps with hormonal balance. In fact, there are already studies showing that diets rich in soluble fiber help people with insulin resistance to have much better metabolic control. And there's an interesting detail. When you control your blood sugar, you also control fat storage. Because when there are insulin spikes, the body tends to store fat more easily. When blood sugar is stable, insulin remains balanced, and the body functions more efficiently, using energy gradually and avoiding the accumulation of fat in the abdomen. In other words, the impact of okra isn't just during mealtime. It creates a chain of positive effects ranging from digestion and metabolic regulation to hunger control and hormonal balance. This is far more powerful than any miracle tip you find out there. So, when you put it all together, it becomes clear that okra helps with weight loss because it works behind the scenes in the body. It controls hunger, controls sugar, controls nutrient absorption, and also protects the body from metabolic effects that hinder weight loss. That's why, within a healthy weight loss strategy, okra is one of the smartest and most effective allies you can put on your plate. Does okra really help with weight loss? What does science say? Now comes the moment when we put emotion aside and bring science to the table. After all, does okra really help with weight loss? Or is it just another one of those rumors that go viral on social media? The truth is, when we look at studies, nutritional analyses, and research on metabolism, okra stands out in a way that surprises many people. First important point, the okra. It's not a miracle food. It doesn't burn fat on its own, it doesn't melt belly fat, and it doesn't replace physical activity or a balanced diet. However, what science clearly shows is that it creates an environment in the body that facilitates weight loss. It's as if it were a partner that makes it easier for you to achieve your goals. The most interesting studies focus on three main effects: glycemic control, improved satiety and metabolic regulation. This is especially true for people with insulin resistance. Research published in nutrition and metabolism journals shows that okra mucilage actually delays carbohydrate absorption, reducing the rate at which sugar enters the bloodstream. This effect is directly associated with less hunger, less cravings, more stable energy, and less fat storage. And all of this makes a real difference on the scale. A study with animals, for example, showed that okra helped reduce glucose levels compared to a diet without soluble fiber. In humans, research on foods rich in soluble fiber demonstrates consistent benefits in weight loss. Not because these fibers burn fat, but because they adjust eating behavior. You eat, feel satisfied for longer, and avoid that cycle of blood sugar spikes and crashes that causes many people to overeat. Another interesting point is that okra seems to help with modulation of the gut microbiota, in other words, the good bacteria in the gut. Recent studies have shown that when the gut is healthy and has a balanced flora, the body finds it easier to lose weight. Okra, with its combination of insoluble and soluble fiber, creates an ideal environment for these bacteria to work in favor of the body. This improves digestion, metabolism, and even how the body uses energy. And it's worth remembering a very simple but extremely important factor. Okra is low-calorie. Okra is full of nutrients and has a large volume. This means it fills the plate and satisfies without adding to your calorie intake. A cup of okra has about 33 calories, which is practically nothing for such a nutritious food. In weight loss diets, this is invaluable because you eat plenty, consume important nutrients, and don't exceed your daily calorie limit. What science makes clear is that okra is not a shortcut, but rather facilitates weight loss can occur in several different ways. It reduces hunger, improves metabolism, stabilizes blood sugar, promotes gut health, and helps the body function at a more balanced pace. Weight loss becomes more natural, more consistent, and less painful. So, yes, okra helps with weight loss. Not in the miraculous way that many people sell it, but in the way that really matters, acting intelligently within the body, creating conditions for you to eat better, feel less hungry, and better control your own metabolism. It's science, it's real, and that's why it has gained so much prominence in modern nutrition studies. How to include okra in your routine to boost weight loss. If there's one question everyone asks when they discover the benefits of okra, it's, okay, but how do I incorporate this into my daily life in an easy, delicious way without getting tired of it? And honestly, that makes all the difference. It's no use knowing that okra helps with weight loss if you can't use it to your advantage in a practical way. The good news is that okra is extremely versatile. You can use it in simple, quick recipes and even in very modern preparations without being stuck with that traditional flavor that many people grew up eating. And to begin, it's important to remember that okra works best when it's present with constancy, not in huge doses every now and then. The secret is frequency. It's like watering a plant. A little every day has much more impact than overdoing it on a single day. So the idea here is to show you real ways to make it a natural part of your diet. A very practical way to include okra is to use it sautéed in a pan with a drizzle of olive oil, onion, and simple seasonings. This dish is delicious, retains nutrients, and requires almost no effort. You can use it as a side dish for lunch or dinner, along with a lean protein and a portion of healthy carbohydrates. It's quick, tasty, and works very well for those looking to manage their weight. Another option that has been gaining traction is the famous okra water. It's become fashionable, but many people don't know how to use it correctly. Okra water doesn't work miracles, but it can help with satiety and blood sugar balance because of the mucilage released when the okra is soaked. Simply cut 2 or 3 okra pods in half, leave them in water overnight, and drink it in the morning. It's simple and can be effortlessly integrated into your routine. For those who enjoy getting creative in the kitchen, you can add okra to stews, light broths, maquikas, Brazilian fish stews, or stir-fries with vegetables. It combines very well with tomatoes, bell peppers, garlic, and fresh herbs, making the dish nutritious, substantial, and much more filling. In weight loss diets, substantial, low-calorie dishes are true allies. And there's more. Okra can even be put in omelets. Mixed roasted vegetables are used in warm salads when you slice it into rounds. Season it with a little olive oil, turmeric, and pepper and put it in the air fryer. It becomes a crunchy snack. Yes, a snack. It's perfect for those who need a bite to eat during the day, but want something that actually helps with their diet instead of hindering it. Another important strategy is to combine okra with foods rich in protein and fiber, for example, grilled chicken with brown rice and okra, or scrambled eggs with sautéed okra. This makes the dish balanced, helps maintain satiety for much longer, and provides incredible support for those trying to control their appetite. And of course, for those looking to lose weight, it's essential to remember that okra works best as part of a complete routine. Good food choices, hydration, adequate sleep, and some form of physical activity are essential. Okra doesn't make you lose weight on its own, but it fits perfectly into a lifestyle that promotes weight loss. Ultimately, including okra in your routine is easy when you understand that it doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be consistent. The more present it is in your daily life, the more you feel the benefits: improved satiety, more stable energy, efficient digestion, and much more control over hunger. And look, when this becomes a habit, the results appear almost without you noticing. After all this, it becomes very clear that okra is not just any vegetable. It is a complete, versatile, accessible food, full of characteristics that make a real difference when it comes to weight loss and overall health. And perhaps the most interesting part is realizing that, even being so simple, so common, and so cheap, it delivers benefits that many expensive and trendy foods promise, but don't always fulfill. Okra is almost a silent hero of nutrition. And when we talk about weight loss, it's very important to emphasize one thing: there is no food that works miracles, that burns fat on its own, or that transforms someone's body overnight. But there is, however, what science calls facilitating foods, those that make the process lighter, more efficient, and more sustainable. And okra fits perfectly into this category. It helps with satiety, improves blood sugar levels, balances hunger hormones, and also promotes more functional digestion. All of this is invaluable for those seeking to lose weight in a healthy way. Another key point is that okra works even better when it's part of a balanced lifestyle. It's no use putting okra on your plate and then, for the rest of the day, living on ultra-processed foods, fried foods, or excessive calories. The idea here is to understand okra as a tool within a whole. When you combine okra with quality proteins, smart carbohydrates, good fats, hydration, and physical activity, the body responds. And it responds quickly. And perhaps you've already realized this throughout the video. Losing weight isn't just about aesthetics. It's about health, energy, well-being, confidence, and quality of life. And foods like okra help make this journey easier, lighter, and more enjoyable. It's much simpler to lose weight when you eat foods that naturally help your body work in your favor. Another important point is that okra also helps with emotional control of hunger. You know those moments of anxiety, compulsion, or the urge to snack all the time. The blood sugar stability provided by okra helps a lot in those moments. When blood sugar doesn't plummet, you don't feel that urge to eat anything. This allows you to follow a healthy eating routine with much more peace of mind, without feeling trapped or suffering. And in the end, the most valuable thing is that okra is democratic. It's suitable for those with little time, those with little money, those who are just starting to take care of themselves, those who already have a healthy eating routine. It really fits into any lifestyle. And that's one of its greatest strengths: accessibility. Therefore, if you're looking to lose weight naturally, intelligently, and sustainably, okra definitely deserves a permanent place on your plate. You don't need to overdo it. You don't need to complicate things. You just need to include it, experiment, vary it, and maintain a routine. The results will come. If this video helped you see okra in a new light, share it with someone who is also looking to improve their diet and lose weight in a healthy way. Sometimes, simple information like this can transform someone's life. And of course, take advantage and sign up here on Your Health, because here we don't just talk about food. We talk about life, well-being, smart choices, and everything that brings you closer to your best self. Turn on notifications, leave a like, and comment below if you want me to prepare other recipes and videos about okra or other powerful foods for your health. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Always.